Three. There we go. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome everyone to the second Medical Affairs Club meeting. We thank you all for joining from different countries in the Middle East. خليني الأول بس أعرفكم بنفسي. My name is Sharif Ibrahim. I'm a co-host and co-founder of the International Medical Affairs Club, proudly مع Dr. Mahmoud Bahgat, who is the club founder. الفكرة ببساطة أو the point behind this club إنه في الآخر we are creating a community من كل الناس اللي interested بالميديكال affairs، سواء experts شغالين في الميديكال affairs أو حتى ناس حابين to join the medical affairs from other different يعني therapies. وبالتالي ده يكون مكان يقدروا يوصلوا له، يكون فيه all the information or the details that they need. We've been starting this for a while. وطبعا proudly today we have with us our speaker, guest speaker for the second round is Dr. Rouwayda Dana. Not just professionally, she is a star. She's also a dear friend of mine. She is the chief medical officer of Mirsaco in Lebanon. She's a very busy lady and she's been awarded a couple of awards. I will leave her the floor to tell you more about herself. But first of all, I'd like to thank you for supporting the Medical Affairs Club and for taking some time out of your very busy schedule to be with us and to talk with us more about insights. Without further ado, I will leave the floor to you. That's for all our attendees, which are increasing. I can see the number increasing, which is great. Please feel free if you have any questions to Dr. Rouwayda, please type them down in your chat box, or if there are any interactive questions asked, please put your answers in the chat box and we will answer them accordingly. Without further ado, Dr. Rouwayda, شكرا كتير ليكي the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sharif. It's a pleasure to be with you here today. Thank you, and I thank also Dr. Mahmoud Bahgat for the trust, and it's a great pleasure to be with you here and to talk about a very, I would say, attractive topic, which is beyond knowledge transfer, medical affairs evolving role as insights generation. So I don't think that the screen is moving anymore with me. Can you move the slide down?
Let me double check. I'll let you be.
لا دي هتلاقيها من عند حضرتك، فلو حابة
you
ممكن
are a
تو
host.
ستوب شير وري شير اجين.
Yes.
I stop sharing? Okay.
تمام.
You see it now?
It's loading. I think it will be shared very soon. It's starting, but still it didn't show. Yes,
It's
if you can put
working.
it back in presentation mode.
Yes.
Very good.
I
We
think
can
it's
see your second slide now.
Great, great. Thank you so much. So as I said, it's a pleasure to be amongst you here today. And as an introduction for myself, my name is Rouwayda. I'm an MD in background, and I have an executive master's in business administration with focus on healthcare. And I'm also a professional coach, certified coach. I'm currently the chief medical officer at Mirsaco, Lebanon. I'm carrying like over 18 years of experience in multiple global pharma, like in Roche, MSD, Organon, Schering-Plough, in many roles in medical affairs. I worked in diversified portfolio and markets, and I had I would say, the good experience of having like local, regional, and global roles in leading medical projects. I'm a published researcher on clinicaltrials.gov. I'm a board of trustee with Partners for Patients. It's an international NGO working to ensure like HCP knowledge around the globe and the patient access to therapy. I'm also working on transformative coaching currently. As my colleague Dr. Sharif shared, I was awarded last year to be among the top 200 global women power leaders for impact on healthcare. And I'm passionate like today to talk about healthcare, leadership, and empowerment. And I want to take a moment to acknowledge Anna. Anna is our MSL also at Mersako because she enriched also the presentation with her good insights
Input.
generation for it.
Yeah.
So without further ado, I would say that as we speak about beyond knowledge transfer, it really reflects the reality. So medical affairs, we used to really focus on knowledge transfer. But today we can see more and more as our role is evolving towards insight generation, how we can work on leveraging the current trends like AI, digital platforms, real-world evidence. How can we use all this to improve our strategic decision-making in medical affairs and how it's impacting pharma? So this is how I see that the topic is very interesting nowadays with a lot of changes in this, I would say, environment. So for that, I would say I would try to answer throughout the presentation many questions. First of all, I want to check the understanding about medical insights, and then we're going to explore together benefiting or leveraging the medical insights in organizational strategies. I'm going to talk a little bit about the role of AI in medical insights generation, same for digital platforms and real-world evidence. And then I'm going to be sharing what could be challenging remaining in medical insights generation. And we're going to explore a little bit how the environment and ecosystem are changing to adopt new trends in medical insight generation. And last but not least, I will share the Medical Affairs Vision 2030 for McKinsey, and we can have the forum for further discussions. But nevertheless, if you have any question throughout the presentation, please share with Dr. Sharif, and he will bring it up to the discussion.
For sure, for sure. Very rich agenda.
Oh.
Can't wait.
Yes, hopefully, yes. So, Vollenweider, in his article that was published in 2022, he spoke about medical affairs metamorphosis. And in his article, he mentioned that there was an evolution in the way medical affairs have evolved. So we moved from traditional medical affairs where we were looked at as mainly as a support function. We were focused on like medical education, knowledge exchange, and we had like reactive insights with limited real world data usage. We were more focused on clinical trials. While today we are really with the modern medical affairs like outlook, we have moved already into a strategic decision-making role. And through insights, we are informing R&D, market access, commercial strategies. And we have immensely shifted from reactive insights into proactive and predictive analytics. And today we are like extensively using real-world evidence, and we're going to explore today how we can further leverage AI and digital engagement in our medical insight strategies. Furthermore, this was like further, I would say, accentuated with the McKinsey report that was published in 2019. They mentioned within the first medical affairs vision that was like exploring until 2025, and they said medical affair is now a third pillar of pharma alongside R&D and commercial, and this is mainly driven by data and medical insights. So without further ado, if I want to check here and pause a second and ask myself or ask the audience, and you can say in the chat box if you have anything that Dr. Sharif can share with me, what do you think are medical insights? How can we define medical insights?
يس هو يعني سؤال يبان سهل بس صعب يعني easier said than done please if you can type down يا شباب في الشات what do you think a medical insight is. Let's check the understanding.
And I'm going to help you further. So when we say data versus medical insights, so medical data, medical insights, what do you think would be the difference?
صحيح صحيح. وده دايما يعني انا يعني باكد على كلام يعني الاكزامبل اللي حضرتك قلتيه ده مهم جدا لان هم فعلا في جراي اريا كتير ما بينهم الاثنين. Let's see what they will say. If you can have any answer to the question يا شباب you can write it down in the chat. Meanwhile لغاية بس ما الناس ممكن تكتب الإجابات. ممكن أنا أحاول أخد يعني جولة
I can share
at this answer. I know it's always يعني easier said than done. We always think إن إحنا عارفين الإجابة بس ممكن يبقى في جاب عادي كلنا بنتعلم. I think
So
الفكره في الواي، يعني الفكره في الانسايت، الفرق بينها وبين الداتا، الواي behind. يعني الداتا is mainly patterns او mainly some realities زي ما بنقول، لكن الانسايت بتكون why these realities are actually there.
yes. And furthermore, the difference when it's only data, it's not used to generate any actions. Data remains as data. So you read data, right? But you don't do any action around it. While medical insights are actionable information. So you can take this knowledge, take this information derived from like clinical data, real world evidence, patient behavior, digital tools, HCP interaction, and many other resources to generate actionable insights. This is how pharma companies have a deeper understanding of external therapeutic environment. So it's helping us shaping the strategy. So if we look at data alone, it doesn't mean anything because we're not doing our analytics and we're not doing our insights and we're not feeding our strategies. And when we say medical insights and how is it bringing value to the healthcare stakeholder, I would say it has like 360 added value for all healthcare stakeholders. For HCPs, for example, with medical insights, we can enable evidence-based treatment decisions. For patients, it leads to better health outcome and personalized medicine. For payers, it supports reimbursement decision and value-based evidence. But also for pharma, it plays a major role in informing R&D, product strategy, and commercialization. So if I want to like have a scope on how medical insights generation impact the world of pharma mainly, I would say that medical insights have revolutionized the way that medical affairs are contributing in the forefront in drug development, enhancing the drug development, in informing commercial strategies, in accelerating time to market, and in driving innovation. And how does that happen? So with the prompt insight, we are having like more informed decision making. So insights are guiding selection of therapeutic targets and can inform clinical trial designs. As well, good insights can help us have good risk mitigation plans. So with good insights, we can have early detection of any indication of potential challenges, and it allows us to have like proactive adjustments. On the role of accelerating time to market, we have all witnessed how insights, while we understand the patient needs, the healthcare ecosystem, opportunities and challenges, and the market dynamics, how they are changing and evolving, companies can streamline development processes that accelerate time to market of products. Same for commercial, I would say, strategies. Having good insights and having the strategies behind them can create a kind of a market alignment. So insights into how HCP's perspective are seen, how patient experience are being. So this enable us tailor more marketing strategies, ensuring that our products are meeting the market demands. So it's purely with insights, with understanding the environment, with understanding our stakeholders, with understanding the gap and the need that we can create and tailor good solutions for that. And in that aspect, I would love to stop a second and say that in medical insights, there have been a huge transformation in driving innovation. And mainly when I say innovation, I'm really looking into like identifying unmet needs, like engaging with patient and HCP, uncover gaps. And this here, I'm talking a little bit about how AI, digital platform, and real-world data are helping us address these unmet needs.
And there is يعني a lot of things to get insights from. يعني حتى Amgad with us on the chat is saying we can even get insights from the CRM systems as
Yeah,
conversion data as well. And just like you mentioned في slide, the main benefit of all this is to leverage the insights into an understanding of the strategy and actionable decisions, which is what Ahmed Osman was just saying in the chat. Thank you all for the interaction, but it makes sense that everyone is going in the same direction you are saying. Yani, thank you.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Sharif. So once we spoke about the importance of medical insights, another question would arise. Would you think it is mandatory to integrate every medical insight into the organizational strategy? I would give you like 1 minute if you like to share your thoughts, and then I will share how this thing, like the references that we checked, look into it. What do you think? Is it mandatory?
شايفين ايه يا شباب؟ mandatory or optional؟ اوكي، احمد عثمان thinks no, thinks it's good but it's not mandatory.
Great.
Very good,
So
very good
let's,
to see different viewpoints.
yes,
Good to have.
that's very nice. Absolutely, because you can see different perspective and
Yeah.
how we are like looking into the topic from different point of views.
مظبوط مظبوط. he's stating يعني ان it's optional in the global strategy direction يعني. Most probably because I was going to say this يعني I've worked with 3 employers. employer واحد بس، يعني شركة واحدة بس من ال3 هي اللي كانت حاطة القصة دي مانديت في مثلا براند بلان اكسترا، يعني جلوبال بوتم داون يعني. انما الشركتين التانيين اللي كنت فيهم لا، الموضوع اوبشنال زي ما احمد متفضل يعني. ف we saying بالظبط not only medical يعني، صح. Thank you for that. انا كنت سايب السؤال ده لاخر انا كنت سايبه للاخر. هو الانسايتس حكر على الميديكال ولا لا؟ ف thank you he already answered the question. I think this is N juice if I'm saying the name right يعني.
Yeah.
Very good,
So the
very good.
question was,
The
the
question
question
was,
was
is it
not,
integral or not?
yes, it was not
Mandatory.
حكر على المedical. I'm saying the medical insight. Is it mandatory to have it into
Yes.
organizational strategy? And I can agree with you that a lot of organizations so far, they do not do that. It's very true.
صحيح.
So, but according to the latest reports, and one of them is like was published last year in 2024, and the title was "It's Never Too Soon: How and When to Engage Medical Affairs." And they said that the soonest we get, so insights alone, they don't bring value. So when you have insights and you cannot take action with it, it remains like as you having data. But once you have some insights that can guide your strategy to resolve a solution, to bring a solution to your like clients, to your customers, to your patients, to your governments, this is when it's really mandatory to take into account the medical insights. And when I say that, I don't mean that it has to be a positive insight. Sometimes we have some negative data, and this also we need to take it into consideration. And to do so, this report is saying that it's really mandatory to have like cross-functional collaboration early on. And this is encouraging collaboration among all stakeholders to ensure that insights are effectively understood, utilized across the organization, and then align how to use it, when to use it, and where to use it. But again, the Base Life Science in their article also last year, Managing Medical Insights and Navigating Challenges and Implementing a Robust Medical Insight Framework in Medical Affairs, it comes from what you have just said. Because so far, some people are bringing insights, but organizations are not prioritizing this and not including this in their strategies. And this is why this article was saying that we have to implement a robust framework. So we have to have structured processes, developing comprehensive frameworks for collecting, analyzing, disseminating insights to ensure consistency and maximizing strategic value. And here, I would say that there is a big role on the advanced technologies, because we understand today
Oh,
that data is becoming broader and like huge data now to look into.
overwhelming.
Yes, it's very overwhelming.
Yes.
So we do need to utilize AI and digital platform, which will enhance our ability to gather and analyze larger data sets, providing more accurate insights.
Very good.
So one of the key driver in medical insight generation, which made like the revolution or the big change, is AI. So the AI was a game changer in medical insights generation. And if you want to say about how traditionally we looked at insight generation, we cannot ignore that we relied on manual analysis, right? And with the revolution of insight of medical of AI in medical insights today, we can have access to faster and more accurate data, and like it helps us in more driven decision making. So how is insight, like the AI is translated? How do we use it in medical affairs insight? So it can be used as data processing and pattern recognition. And with that, I mean that AI can process millions of data points in real time. Predictive analysis allowing pharma company to anticipate treatment responses, disease outbreak, and HCP behavior. So there are multiple use for data processing and pattern recognition depending on the scope that you want to look into. The same, AI-driven natural language processing, which allows computer programs to understand written and spoken human language. It's extracting insights from unstructured data source, including scientific literature, HCP notes, and it's helping into like facilitating like in a kind of a chat format, complex questions into very easy styles, and AI can help like recognizing these data and like collecting these data and analyzing these data. And this is also moving towards more and more into automating insight generation and reporting. And Dr. Sharif was asking about examples. So how do we see these examples? I'm going to share a couple of examples with with you today. So again, this stopped, sorry, moving the screen. Yes, it's moving, Sharif, at your end.
We're still at slide number 5, role of AI. Now it moved. Yeah, the robot in the middle.
Yes, thank you so much. So these are examples of how AI medical insight generation are used. So today you can see that in many hospitals, in many like institutions, they are using a kind of generative AI post-operative reports. So this facilitate like example here, we are throwing examples. So there are, I know that many of you would know different type of AI tools, but this is, for example, giving a technology for heart rhythm analysis post-op. The same for AI-driven HCP engagement. So the use of AI to simplify access to medical information, AI in clinical trial efficiency, and the use of AI in longitudinal clinical trials with prognostic covariable adjusted mixed models for repeated measures, which is a kind of like long-term studies where they have to repeatedly check on risk, safety issues, outputs. So it's really helping to enhance the precision of treatment effect and enabling reduction in patients in sample size and enrolling times. So it's like really helping out clinical trials move faster as well and in more efficient way.
Yeah.
So AI assists summarization of scientific literature with tools that leverage like large language models for searching literature and assisting academic writing. So we have also experts in AI, by the way, in the room. And later on, if anybody is interested into more details or technical issues, I'm going to introduce them to you and they can help you with any kind of questions that you may have.
Very good. طيب انا خليني يعني انا معلش هتدخل هنا برضو. I have a question يا دكتور رويدة. و I think احمد عثمان shares the same question with me. يعني انا my question يعني يعني I'll give you برضو a minute to take your breath. My question, and Ahmed has 2 inputs برضو. My question, are we ready to work with AI on autopilot؟ يعني خلاص نسيبه هو بقى manage our things، مثلا HCP engagements, reports, summarization like you said، ولا still الhuman touch is needed؟ ده سؤالي انا.
Absolutely.
On the other hand Ahmed's input is انه في اكيد red flags برضو على اليوز of AI. قصة البايس، قصة الترانسبيرنسي، ethics، privacy. يعني في questions عموما على AI، مش بس في الميديكال، ال AI in general يعني. ف how do you see those and what do you think are the disadvantages of AI؟
I love the questions, and it's coming in the presentation. And as I said, so if these were not
Very good.
answered, please bring it back at the end because they are coming in the presentation.
I'll mark them. Thank you.
So question, does anybody knows who's this gentleman? That's another simple example of AI and how it has been like incorporated into like organizational strategies.
Okay. For me, frankly speaking, لا. If anyone
So
on the chat knows,
no
please tell
problem.
us.
Let me help you with that. That's Charles
Oh, Charles
Pfizer.
Pfizer. Okay.
Yes, that's the founder of Pfizer. And
Wow.
actually, the reason I'm bringing Charles into the AI, it's because I wanted to use, like probably most of us would know that Pfizer are using AI already. And they have a platform that is called Charlie, right? Charlie is an AI platform developed by Pfizer, and it was named after Charles Pfizer. So Charlie has revolutionized how Pfizer and pharma marketing in the beginning have been working. And its use is being now expanded into medical insight generation by allowing many checks, like fast checks, legal reviews, content reviews, editing content, and medical analytics. And this is coming from the report that was published last year from Charlie. And Charlie now is like being expanding in like many aspects, and is being looked at from other pharma to be like a start point where they can like step into like AI and move forward.
Very good.
Let me check. Okay, so it's moving now.
We're still on the Charlie slide. Now it moved. Yes.
Okay, so we spoke a little bit about AI, and I understand that you had your questions about how can we make sure that we are using AI in their right platforms. And I have some slides at the end where I'm showing how the environment is evolving to ensure the response to your questions. So bear with me until the end. I just wanted to mention that also another, I would say, a critical factor that we are looking into through our digital platforms to enhance medical insights is like the digital platform. As you mentioned already, Dr. Sharif, you mentioned like CRMs, you mentioned a lot of other, I would say, digital platforms, but these have become integral in the healthcare ecosystem. It's providing centralized and accessible repositories for medical data, like in other, I would say, functions. Because today you might see these in like other functions, but today it's being integrated also in the medical data. And these platforms are facilitating efficient collection, analysis, dissemination of medical insights, enhancing the clinical decision-making and patient care. So how do digital platforms enhance the medical insights? Sure, we have these centralized data repositories. Digital platforms, they aggregate data from various sources like the electronic health records, wearable devices, patient surveys, offering a holistic view of patient health. The same for enhanced collaboration. So these platforms, they can enable seamless collaboration amongst healthcare provider, researcher, and patient, fostering the sharing of insights and better patient care. And in patient engagement, so digital health platforms often include patient portals that allow engagement in their care plans, and they can contribute to data for insight generation. So I know that my screen is a bit slow, but I hope that you are with me on the slide.
Yes.
So digital platforms are also leading to more effective and patient-centric healthcare strategies. So we are, like you said, Dr. Sharif, probably every company, they have different digital tools, they have different technologies. I totally agree. And many of us were not yet there in AI and probably in digital tools, but doesn't mean that the future is not going there, and we're not there even currently.
Good.
Okay. This is an example of a digital platform, like in medical insight generation. Sourcero is one example. I know that there are many, but this is like a platform that is used for medical insight management. And it helps teams that can ask complex questions from medical affairs, and they can have like a kind of instinctive, high quality answers responding to KOL queries faster than ever before. It's because they can like assess or assimilate large data pool, and they can like conglomerate the information and like simplify the text, which will like usually if we used to do it like manually, it would take days, and we're like late in responding and checking the data and the research, etc.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another way to look into that is real world evidence. I think real world evidence, most of us have experienced the shift, right? So previously, like 10 years ago, we used to more focus into clinical trials. We were like happy to have more like, I would say, post-marketing trials, like double-blind, placebo-controlled type of studies. But eventually, with medical insights, we had more ways of listening into the need of our HCPs and patients, because actually the criteria that we have in clinical trials do not reflect what we have in real world.
Yes.
It's not what exactly happens in the clinic of the HCP. It's not what exactly falls into like the profile of patients that come into these clinics. And I think most of us have experienced that how real world evidence data helped us like moving from I would say controlled setting into more real world setting. And this was like giving more evidence and more, I would say, trust to the HCPs and even to the governments who are more and more relying on the world evidence into like decision making, right? So the real world evidence provide insights beyond clinical trials, right? Because this is what we're saying. It like covers more the actual patient that comes into the clinic, and it identifies unmet need. It helps understand treatment gaps, disease progression, patient behavior, right? So it strengthens the HCP and KOL engagement. I would say that this enables data-driven discussion because it reflects they can connect with their clinical practice. Not every HCP is an investigator. Not every HCP have like, I would say, can select the patient type that can come to them to implement them like in clinical trial. And this is what real-world evidence have made. And this is how it improved drug development and market access by supporting regulatory approval, pricing strategies, HEOR, FDA, EMA, which are increasingly relying on real world for decision making. And real world data is also deriving personalized medicine and facilitating tailored treatment to specific group, improving patient outcomes. So we have spoken about AI, we have spoken about digital platforms, we have spoken about real world data. But as you said, there are challenges, right, in medical insight generation. With all these, I would say, advancement, there still are some challenges. So first of all, you mentioned one thing, Dr. Sharif, you mentioned the data overload. And there is a vast amount of available data that can be overwhelming, necessitating effective strategies to filter and prioritize information. Another challenge would be ensuring the quality. This is another aspect that some of you brought already. How do we ensure data quality? Maintaining a high standard of data quality is essential for generating reliable insights. You mentioned also, one of you also mentioned, and I wrote it down, the ethical consideration. It's very true. Upholding ethical standards, particularly concerning patient confidentiality, is paramount. One thing also I think that you mentioned was managing AI hallucination. This is what we call it. So you asked, should we leave AI into like an automated
Yeah.
system?
Yeah.
Definitely not, because today AI still faces some kind of hallucination. It can give like out of scope information. So definitely it should be driven by the human being so far. I don't know how the future move, but today we have experts on board. Probably I can give them the floor to share more information about that. But this is one of the key challenges that we are still working around, and how we can work around that. So the best practice for effective insight generation nowadays would be to really establish some clear objective,
Yeah.
clearly
So I think
outlining the purpose.
I'm sorry to cut you, but I was agreeing with you. I think this was also a point that was raised by Ahmed Osman برضه, the part that's related to AI is already fed by humans, so it could have some biases that it just capitalizes on, which is what you were saying in the AI hallucination that could just drift some way with a bias out of hand. يعني الموضوع يخرج برانا. ف... thank you for putting the scientific term to what I was thinking, and Ahmed already يعني capitalized on what I was saying.
Actually, I would thank Ashwarya from Newbridge. They will be sharing some insights at the end also, because they are the experts in AI in medical insights generation.
Very good.
So furthermore, we have to foster a culture of continuous learning. So promoting an organizational culture that values ongoing learning and adaptability enhances the ability to generate meaningful insights. And here we can say, you mentioned one thing that is really very important. Not every companies are moving with the same speed into like the evolving technologies, right? We're not all moving in the same speed, but there are like we have like the profile of the HCPs that we do, right? We have early adopters, we have late adopters, right? But eventually we are moving into this culture. So the future is going there. And fostering a culture of continuous learning and building skills and capability in that aspect is needed if we want in the future really to compete in that aspect. Because as you have seen, like Pfizer and other companies are really moving into that. So this is really facilitating the work. And one more thing to establish is like having a kind of established AI policy and engaging AI roles in institutions, because we're not all expert in AI tools, right? So we need to build these skills and capabilities. We need to do them. So in answer to what you asked previously, are we ready? We're not already. No, we're not at the same level of readiness, right? So does this answer this question for you?
It answered mine. So I'm good. We can keep the part that's related to Ahmed Osman until the end, and the
Yes,
disadvantages and the red flags.
right, right. So how is the environment changing in the era of AI in medical insights specifically? I just wanted to share this with you, and I again thank the new page for sharing this information. And probably the numbers are not the most updated for today, but you can see that there are billions of expenditure on healthcare in
Yeah.
AI. And you can see in this curve that you can see the percentage of fast adopters and very fast adopters and moderate adopters and very slow adopters. Of course, AI is reshaping the possibilities for our digital landscape and is revolutionary like businesses. As AI continues to advance, it is the next competitive weapon, I would say, for businesses, for pharma to remain relevant and profitable in the modern world. And you can see that we have moved like from the 19s to the, like I would say, from integrated enterprise. We have witnessed the digital enterprise. So most of us, you mentioned CRM, you mentioned like other tools that probably others are using. And now we are moving into like the intelligent enterprise. So CEOs, as you said, Dr. Sharif, you said that many companies, they do not integrate this part of insights generation as an integral part in their strategies. And this is why the recommendation is that CEOs must see the value. So they would see the value of this and how it's helping them transform the way we work with medical insight generation and how it's contributing to the pharma and to the patients and to the HCPs. If we don't do that, if CEOs will not have like take the lead and change in transforming like their organization from digital to intelligent enterprise to ensure survival, I think that some companies may be falling behind. So this was one aspect of how the environment is changing. So previously we didn't hear about expenditures in AI, right? In
Yeah.
previous
But it's
like
evolving very
pandemic.
fast, and يعني my knowledge about this when I was reading يعني the reports from First Word, etc. AstraZeneca have acquired a company called Siren, I think, for AI, and Bayer have also acquired this. So
Yes.
so it's not they're not contracting their services; they acquired the whole company. ف it makes sense طبعا مع الريبورت that you are showing يعني.
Absolutely. And again, another aspect of how the environment is changing, you can see that AI is already being integrated. It has been used like in many cases, and it explored across the biopharma value chain. As you mentioned, already some companies are going there. You can see that it's being used like in research and development and manufacturing and supply, in many other functions like HR. And you can see that how you can probably the easiest example that comes to mind is the talent acquisition with the platforms that they are using and how they are relying on AI and I would say digital platforms in that. And also you can see that currently commercial and medical function are in the scope. They are already in the scope of some pharmaceutical company. And you're totally right, not all of them.
Yes, 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 yes.
The other aspect of how like the environment and ecosystem are changing to adapt to new trends is the increasing governance and oversights. And this is my answer to you when you said, yes, we have biases, we need transparency. And you can see here, if you can check I would say the yellow box in the bottom, that global regulatory bodies are working on
Mm.
AI policies across safety, transparency, traceability, data biases, ethics, and human collaboration.
Collaboration.
And you can see that here the EU, they have drawn their fact in like their AI Act in June 2023. So this is not very far away.
Yeah.
This is why I totally understand why we're not all aware of what's going on in our environment. So it's seeking like system to seek to respond to all what our colleague just mentioned, the
Yes.
biases, the transparency, the same for the SDA. So FDA, they have discussed a paper also in 2023 seeking to manage risk such as biases, data used to train the ML algorithm, inaccuracies, completeness, etc. The same for the World Health Organization. So they are not shying away from AI, they are finding a way to use AI. Do you get my point?
It's so right, and I was saying to Ahmed Osman that he's so right. It makes sense that his red flag was right, because the actual bodies are actually creating a regulation for it. It makes sense.
Yes, but eventually, if I look into it, it's it's somehow like a red flag for biases, yes. But if we stop there,
If
it
we,
is a red flag for
for
biases,
sure, if
and
we
we cannot
regulate
use
it,
it.
it
Yes.
should work.
If we regulate it, if, as you said, we keep the human touch in it, we keep
Yeah.
the like evolving and like developing and improving and checking these biases and working around them, this is how we are really going to move forward with it. Another aspect of how the environment is changing, and all this, I'm bringing all this to you to tell you that even if today you are not aware how to use these like technologies like AI, digital platforms, real world evidence, but mainly AI, I'm telling you that the environment around us is changing and they are receptive to use it. So if we, the healthcare, the medical, I would say experts who are like leading the insights, would be at the back front of realizing this reality and act upon it, I think we will be like late adopters. And honestly, I don't see that the medical, honestly, with the mindset of like the research and understanding and evolving and developing, I don't see that we are late adopters. But yes, I agree that it doesn't come from individuals, it comes from organizations. It comes from the value that the organization would give to this aspect. But I guess it's our role to highlight how this is changing, how the environment is changing, guys. If you want us to be competitive, prepare us, right? You can see that here, even Harvard School and many other organizations today, like AUB and other stuff you may hear, they are already preparing, they are giving the skills for people to prepare for them for these I would say changes. And because this is a revolution, like the old generation, I'm talking about myself, we're not very knowledgeable about this area. So we need to build skills, right, for the coming period.
Yes.
And this is why I was telling you that we can shy away and telling you that yes, there are biases, yes, that's no transparency, yes, it's not happening. But at the same time, we have to look how our stakeholders are looking into that. So if the governments are assessing how to improve on that and how to set governments, if the HCPs, and nowadays in the report, I'm going to be sharing the report of you with the McKinsey report about the 2030 vision. They are talking about the HCPs becoming younger and more,
Yeah.
I would say, they like more, they are more engaged into like the new technologies and things like that. So our environment is changing, and so should we be ready for that. This is my only message for you guys here. So I've shared with you how everything is changing to like engage all this. And I hope with this I would have answered your concern,
Yes.
which is really relevant. But eventually, one last slide, please. I hope I'm not late.
You're
One last
perfectly on
slide
time.
is about the new McKinsey report, which is sharing now the vision for 2030. And this was like released like in 2023. And in here, they are talking about priorities for medical affairs. And they are insisting that medical affairs should be taking the lead. It's important for medical affairs like to become even more sharper and have more focus and bring this information, not be again, as we mentioned in the beginning, like reactive to insights.
مظبوط.
Let's drive proactively insight. This is an insight. What we're talking about today is insights.
Yes.
How are you gonna use it when you go back? You understand
Mhm.
the way I'm approaching this? So yet this report is telling and is confirming what you are saying exactly. They said the journey is not yet complete, and progress in transforming medical affairs has been hindered by capability gaps, by budgetary constraints, by organizational misalignment. And this is when I'm saying it's not an individual thing, but bring the insight, put the insight to the organization, and then steer it to have an alignment and with competing priorities. Because I know that many organizations are still more, I would say, commercially driven, probably. Some of them are not, some of them are. But the ones that are really working into building the capabilities and putting the budget to work, like Pfizer, like what you said, acquiring new, a whole organization in AI, they are preparing for the future. They are preparing for the 2030 medical affairs vision. And don't forget that some reports have said that are like zillions. I have no clue how big is a zettabyte, but I understand it's very big.
It's very big.
Healthcare data. There's an increasing need for supportive tools to navigate timely all the data and integrating digital and analytics into day-to-day decision making.
Yeah.
And the fast evolving landscape of data analytics and AI is already revolutioning the way medical affairs is operating. So are we in the forefront or are we in the back? I can understand that we are at a different level. We're not all there yet. I'm not sure how in the same, even within the same organization on affiliate level or like hub level, regional level or global level, how it stands. Definitely there is a variability, but as the indicator is showing, and this is clear insight, that the future is going in this direction.
Yes, yes.
Did I convince you?
You convinced me وانا really it's very informative وانا يعني يمكن يعني بضم صوتي لصوت احمد عثمان with us. It's very interactive. I thank him very much. بس ال part that you said يعني the great amount of data, فانا بضم صوتي لصوت ان انا شايف AI we can make very good use of AI as an assistant to manage all this data. يعني predicting بقى all the images, real world evidence زي ما حضرتك تفضلتي. كل البارت ده I think it's very very good to use AI as a tool to help you to manage this great amount of data اكتر من ان احنا نعتمد عليه on autopilot في part مثلا زي HCP engagements او زي fully getting insight gathering او كده يعني for the time being. برضو for the time being.
Right.
لان احنا لو عملنا نفس الميتنج ده كمان 4 5 سنين I think كلامنا هيتغير تماما, which is what you were
Yes.
saying.
You see, we are advanced today.
Yeah.
Let's meet again in 4 or 5 years and remember what we said today. So in conclusion, medical insights really matters. And it's a key driver for innovation. And it is also a key driver in like guiding informed decision making in medical affairs, and it's like impacting the organizational strategies in general. I understand, as you said, not all of us are there yet, but most of us are, and a lot of us are, even on the local levels, by the way. Through AI digital platform, real-world data, organization can generate real-time data-driven insight that improve healthcare outcome. And I will stop here to hear from you first. And then if you have any technical issues, I can introduce the experts of AI in insight generation, and you can ask them your question and how they see it in now, currently, and in the future.
It's great because I think we have a couple of experts. I think also Ahmad Osman was mentioning that he's working for a CRO that actually provides AI solutions as well, as long as along with also I think you mentioned Aishwarya. I think she was also working in AI. So it's great to have all those. So until we have inputs from everyone about AI, I think the two parts that I have 5 questions for you from the attendees until now. So it shows that everyone was interacting with your session. The two that are related with AI, I think we talked about the disadvantages of AI. I think we talked about that and the best way to use AI. I suggested برضو اسيب المايك لحضرتك. انا I suggested البارت زي ما احمد قال, البارت اللي related بالreal world evidence, البارت اللي related بmanaging imaging techniques etc. Those are the best ways to use AI for the moment, at the moment. مش عارف رأي حضرتك ايه.
I would say it depends on the local needs.
Okay.
So if you go totally, you remember in the presentation, we said we have to have a focus and like understanding of what do we need. So if this is our need, we need to focus. So probably Ahmad or somebody is focusing on real world evidence. And yes, because we in medical affairs, we're not having the same function, right? So I would say like real world evidence experts are working on these things, like imaging technologies are working on different things. For example, for me, when I look into these aspects, I look into like uh, data that can help me, for example, in like pipelines, for example. So it's different. So it depends on the need. And I totally agree with you because you are looking into what you need. So yes, use it according to your need.
Of
But it
course.
does not
Of course.
mean, yes, it does not mean that there are probably arising needs or gap that in the future probably you or me or anybody else would be having to look into.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I think if you are at the end of your presentation, or you have more slides, I'm not sure. You're at the end?
Fine. These are the references, and I
Okay.
just to mention for you that this is the like all this data, and we have like 18 data telling us about how insights are revolutioning the way medical affairs are working, and the vision into like how
Yeah.
insights are being incorporated into like organizational strategies. So all this shows the importance of I would say insight generation, and I take back the title of the presentation, like moving from knowledge exchange to insight generation, our role in insight generation. And I hope that I could capture the importance of what we do in that aspect today with my presentation.
Thank you very much. It was great طبعا. يعني شكرا ليكي جدا وشكرا لوقتك. If you can just stop your slide share so we can all see you, because we have a couple of questions ليكي.
Sure.
وطبعا please يا جماعة feel free لو حد عنده أسئلة please write them down. احنا عندنا 3 questions وبعد كده ممكن leave the floor لدكتور محمود برضو يكومنت وانا برضو اقول لك my comment after we're all done. اول كويستشن انا هقولهم لك بترتيب ما هم جم بالنسبه لنا يعني. اول كويستشن كان الانسايتس حكر على الميديكال ولا لا، ولا any field field associate can actually gain an insight.
Absolutely, it's not حكر على المedical. But why we are really tackling medical? Because we have been reactive in insight generation. We have been reactive.
Yeah.
So we are moving. So as I said, the example of Pfizer, they really used it first in commercial. They used it in marketing, and then they are expanding into market, into medical. So absolutely ما نحكر على المedical. But I think we should be moving from reactive to
To
proactive.
proactive.
And yes.
او برايورتي، يعني مثلا البرايورتي عند الميديكال الانسايت جاذرنج هيبقى في الاول، لكن لو انا مثلا فيلد اسوشيت كوميرشال او انا ماركت اكسس او كده، ممكن برايورتي بتاعت الانسايت جاذرنج عندي تبقى رقم 2 او 3 بعد my core job of selling يعني. Thank you for
Yes,
that.
and I would one more thing I would say. Remember also we spoke about the early on, it's never too soon. The
طبعا
slide when I said it's never too soon, and we
طبعا
spoke about the cross-functional collaboration because insights can come from anywhere. It's not only AI, it's not only real world. It
صحيح.
can come from direct contact with patients, with HCPs, you know, CRM, anything.
صح.
So when we all cross-functionally collaborate and put these insights effectively, and we can all look into them, then we can have like an effective strategy.
مظبوط
So no working in silo at all.
صحيح. مليون في المية. وانا يعني هرفلكت على الكلام اللي حضرتك بدأت بيه اصلا السيشن، ولسه احمد عثمان كان بيتكلم فيه، وهو فكرة الفرق بين الداتا او الفيدباك والانسايت. فوي نيد تو ديفرنشيت طبعا، ده زي ما حضرتك قلتي في اول 2 3 سلايدز. if we differentiate this and we have بقى good quality insights, then بقى العجلة بتدور زي ما بنقول يعني. you have everything else if you have a quality insight that you can build a strategy on يعني. which leads us to the second question. هو it's a broad question that يعني هو يبان سهل بس هو برضو معقد شوية يعني. how do we add value in insights يعني؟ وانا يمكن ده سؤال انا اتسألته بس برضو عايز your inputs عليه، انه هل ان احنا بناخد insights هو ده في حد ذاته الفاليو، ولا there are things that we need to do to make sure that our insight is actually adding value و valuable يعني.
Yes, that's a very important question. In one of my slides, I spoke that the first step is getting insights.
Mhm.
But if we don't, by the way, insights, I want to clarify one thing. When we say insight, it's not something I heard and I'm just laying back to my organization.
Mhm.
Insights is when I'm looking into a gap and I get an insight about this gap and
مظبوط.
I use it and I use it to find a solution. So this is how I put value in my insights. And when I do that, the thing that we are contributing when I bring a solution, my organization or my team, or I don't know, my product, whatever, this is how we are adding value to the organization and to the stakeholders. So by gathering these insights, like what we spoke about real world evidence. So for years, we didn't listen to the HCPs, right? We were very happy with complex clinical trials, and this is evidence, but it was really we didn't listen. But eventually there was increasing pressure from HCPs and from patient organization. Listen to us. This is not the real world. This is not how we come to the clinics. And this pressure, this insight, we had to listen to it eventually. This is the type of reactive mode, you remember? So when we listen to it and we moved into real world evidence, you can see now how it's impacting faster, I would say, time to market. It's impacting, I would say, adoption from the HCPs because they can relate to what happens with them in the clinic. I hope it answered you.
It does وطبعا الكولابوريشن مع الكروس فانكشنال يعني ستيك هولدرز ده مهم جدا. اي ثينك برضو يعني انا واحمد متفقين في البوينت دي. كروس فانكشنال كولابوريشن من ديفرنت ريسورسز هو اللي بيخلي بقى ان فعلا الانسايت ده كاننا بنبص عليه 360 يعني من كذا مكان to make sure طبعا انه فعلا it's actionable.
Yes, and don't forget that when we are looking into it from different perspective, we are enriching the way we analyze it, see it. So it's very important to have this cross-functional collaboration because everybody is bringing different perspectives. So definitely I agree.
وانا كمان اي اجري جدا. وحتى ده يعني بيلينك مع سؤال احنا يعني اتسالته في النص من انا مش عارف لو اقول اسمها صح اللي هي ان جوس انه برضو هي كانت بتسال which companies have transformed يعني which companies اللي فعلا الميديكال بقى بيليد فيها وبقى ترانسفورميشنال. فانا جاوبت بالنيابه عنك من ماي سمول اكسبيرينس. انا عارف من my previous employers يعني نوفارتس and امجن are working that way يعني they transformed وبقوا فعلا خلاص الميديكال ده بارتنر وليدر وبادجت اونر وبيليد الاستراتيجي اللي everyone else follows. لو انت working with a couple of multinationals in your current role you can disclose names مين شركات تكون فعلا مشيت على الخطى ده please share with us. لكن I understand لو ما ينفعش بس هي نجاح يعني الشركة اللي عاملة كده ده نجاح فاحنا بنذكر نجاحها يعني.
Yes, absolutely. So many companies are working into that, and many companies have already achieved a state where medical are decision makers in the strategies, in organizational strategies, not only on medical affairs. The only way they are using is like having something, what's the added value that we are bringing to the table? And when they use insights to add value, they will be heard. So like examples of these companies, for example, you mentioned already Amgen because we're working with them. I worked with Roche. We're working with many companies like Sanofi. They have so many companies. They have like already digitalized platform, real world evidence, and moving into AI. So yes, a lot of companies have really evolved, and I really understand from where these questions are arising because we cannot see it in our daily probably practice or in what we do daily.
فاهم حضرتك وده كلام مهم جدا. بس انا مبسوط يعني الاسامي الكومبانيز اللي انت ذكرتيها مبسوط بالميكس ما بين الميدل سايز والبيج سايز. ف it shows انه الكونسبت نفسه موجود across different organizations بغض النظر عن السايز. ف this is great. We can see other names روش سانوفي ميرك. بيرفكت. في سؤال جاي لنا برضو I think يعني اخر سؤال لو ما فيش حد هيكتب حاجة تانية. patient perspective does considering a patient perspective ده بيخلي الانسايت more deeper more valuable ولا نفضل في الايكو سيستم بتاعنا اللي هو الدكتور والهيلث كير سيستم وكده والبيشنت كده بيفول. What do you think?
Absolutely. So this is one aspect that we really should be working specifically in medical affairs because, you know, we spoke about patient-centric healthcare, right? we're moving into patient-centric healthcare. We need to respond to the patient. You remember also, Dr. Sharif, like years ago, we didn't have patient organizations. Today, we have so many and
Yes.
specialized in many different diseases. So the voice of the patient is getting louder. And this is, again, you see how the kind of pressure of the environment is putting into moving us from reactive into like, yes, you have to listen to us, we are there. And definitely we have to check on the patient. I mentioned one thing in the slide. One of the things that the patient are more like happy with is their capability today
Yeah.
to join in the decision making of their own treatment.
Mhm.
So they have a say. You know, this is something that have evolved. And yes, the answer to that is there. Yes.
It's very important. بس هي طبعا challenging لان برضو لسه يعني احمد thankfully برضو بيكابيتالايز على السؤال، بيقول انه we don't have clear SOPs في الانتراكشن مع البيشنتس، واوقات ممكن نبقى we're not allowed يعني. خليني برضو يعني لو تسمحي لي معلش انا I'll take part of this answer وهسيب المايك ليكي بعد كده. when I worked at Novartis كان عندنا جوينت اس او بي ما بين الميديكال ديبارتمنت وما بين الكوميونيكيشن ديبارتمنت، وفي الوقت ده كنت انا يعني واخد زي تشامبيون يعني از ا بيشنت ادفوكسي مانجر فور نوفارتس ايجيبت. وساعتها كان عندنا اس او بي كليرلي بتوضح ازاي وي كان ازاي وامتى وايه الطرق اللي وي كان انتراكت with patients. وساعتها يعني كنا لسه ستارتنج طبعا الكلام ده، مش عايز اكبر نفسي يعني، بس الكلام ده كان مثلا بنتكلم 2015 16. ف at the time كان عملنا patient advisory board. we took يعني the approvals وجبنا البيشنتس اتكلمنا معاهم about their needs on different medication. عملنا patient advisory board، عملنا patient testimonials مع patient advocacy group زي ما حضرتك تفضلتي which is very important، لان هم اللي جابوا لنا البيشنتس وهم اللي لفتوا نظرنا للانميت نيدز اللي عند البيشنتس دول. وفي نفس الوقت كنا بنسبورت البيشنت دايز، يعني لو مثلا في a day about حاجه مثلا في رن في activity educational، فكنا بنحاول نجيب مثلا دكتور يكلم البيشنتس دول through البيشنت ادفوكسي مع البيشنت ادفوكسي جروب، نعمل الاويرنس داي ده يبقى في مثلا ران مثلا فور مالتيبل سكلروزز، وفي نفس الوقت في توك هيقولها للدكتور نصايح للناس المرضى اللي قاعدين دول على how to handle multiple sclerosis او when to raise the flag when to go to your doctor وهكذا وهكذا وهكذا. فدول كانوا 3 حاجات احنا عملناهم at my time. انت طبعا ايدك في الشغل اكتر دلوقتي، فلو انت you have better examples او how فعلا الميديكال يقدر ينتراكت مع البيشنتس او يوصل للبيشنت انسايتس دي لو هو مش عارف يتعامل معاهم دايركتلي يعني.
So I understand that we don't have like a direct interaction with patients, but as you said, organizations today are making a kind of a link. I remember some of the organizations I used to work with have already set a patient journey manager.
مم. مم.
So this patient journey manager is looking into it's a function that is not medical, not commercial. It's part of the communication and access part, which is looking into the patient needs. And it's not on individual cases. It's like a broader thing and how like globally we're working into patient centricity. So yes, some organizations are putting some rules around that.
Very good, very good. I hope that answers the question. أنا هليف the floor لدكتور محمود. بهجت لو حضرتك معانا if you want to comment until I check the messages لو في أي other questions that I missed.
السلام عليكم. انا بس كنت عايز اشكركم انتوا الاثنين جدا جدا، المحاضره هايله جدا جدا ما شاء الله عليكم. اصلا الام اس ال والميديكال ادفايزر والميديكال مانجر ده حاجه مهمه جدا جدا في كل الشركات. لغايه فتره يمكن من 10 15 سنه ما كانش كل الشركات عندها الموضوع، بس دلوقتي بقى الموضوع كبير وبقت كل الشركات مهتمه جدا بيه. فعشان كده احنا الحمد لله يعني ربنا كرمنا وعملنا الكوميونتي ده. والمحاضره دي فعلا هايله جدا وجزاكم الله كل خير عليها. وانا مبسوط اصلا بالانتراكشن والناس اللي بتسال
Perfect.
والردود بتاعتكم ما شاء الله جميله. فانا بس حبيت اشكركم انتوا الاثنين عليها. وان شاء الله يعني نشوف حضرتك برضو دكتوره في ميتينجز ثانيه في الشهور الجايه كمان ان شاء الله رب العالمين بجد. وشكرا جدا جدا ليك يا شريف كمان بجد، شكرا جدا ليك.
Thank you so
انا بس
much.
حبيت اشكرك.
وانا بضم صوتي لصوتك، ويعني الحقيقه it was very 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 informative. برغم ان هو يعني توبيك كبير جدا، بس انت you managed يعني ان انت to touch point على كل الحاجات المهمه فيه في ساعه واحده بس. فده it just shows انك ماستر يعني. فطبعا احنا اكيد هنحتاجك تبقي معانا في a lot of other club meetings ان شاء الله. زي ما انتم عارفين احنا every third Wednesday او every month، كل ثالث اربع في الشهر، الساعة 7 ايجيبت، 8 سعودية، 9 UAE. دايما بيبقى عندنا الكلاب ده we join together to exchange بقى data، ونتكلم ونinteract ونfind gaps ونexchange information. ما انا شايف برضو ايشوريا she left her email. thank you so much for that. اكيد الناس وانا شخصيا will get in touch with you. فانا الحقيقه رويدا يعني انا بشكرك من كل قلبي for this. thank you so much and thank you for سعة صدرك على كل الكويستشنز اللي جت يعني.
Abadan, thank you so much. It was a pleasure really to like join you in the club. It's very interesting, and I hope that we could like support all our colleagues in these information. And I'm not sure if you want to have any technical questions about AI before Aishwarya would leave, or you would leave it till later on. I leave it up to you.
I think it would be great. I will put the email of Ashwarya in the group. And we
Great.
will reach out if there's any material that we can put in the group for everyone. I think it will be great to share the knowledge مع كل الناس يعني. وكده كده ان شاء الله يعني البي دي اف بتاعت الليكتشر مع الريكوردينج will be on our YouTube channel and our WhatsApp channel, so everyone can benefit from all the data يعني.
Hopefully. Thank you so much, and you have a
Thank you
great
so
evening.
much and have a great evening. شكرا جزيلا. Thank you. Thank you all. We'll see you next month إن شاء الله. Bye bye.